Alright, so I wanted to make this real quick video. I was just setting some stuff up here, and I do basically unedited stuff just because I feel like it's a little bit more organic, and with that, it creates a little bit more of like who you see is me. Plus, I don't have the software right now. Eventually, in the future, I plan to get some. But here's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is just gonna be a quick one, but today I have been just doing a whole bunch of stuff and I have subscribed to Metal Blade Records. Metal Blade Records is one of the bigger name um, metal companies. They put out a whole bunch of bands that are um, huge in the different forms of metal scenes. Everything from black metal, metalcore, doom metal, all the different ones that you can find. Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's what I wanted to show you. I just thought back 15 years, back when I was in high school. I was riding the bus, sitting next to a guy who I shared my birthday with, named Matthew, um, and uh, just listening to the music I listened to then compared to the music I listen to now are two totally different things. Um, Prime example, I'll go back to my history here. In my history, which forget about shorts, whatever. There's just a whole bunch of stuff there. But so it's not there. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay. Well, so what was here, what I was listening to back in that time period, I was listening to bands like Slipknot, System of a Down. I was really starting to get into the whole like metalcore stuff, and I really wasn't in very far. I remember like listening to Slipknot's All Hope Is Gone album, and Gematria was one of the songs there, which you see right there. So, in Gematria, they actually just learned, they literally just played live um, within the last week. Like, it says that it was recorded on February 28th, and it is March 6th today. So, as you can see that there. Well, if you look in my searches, the newest search on my list is Greystone, Ire, but then you also have a band called Mesa. Or not Mesa, but Mesa. Mesa, if we go through and we do the search, the Metal Archives, go here, and you go to the search bar, and you type in the name of the band. It comes up with two of them, which I know it's the Italian band. Because you can tell by the logo here, it's just kind of droopy and just smeared, which droopy and smeared. It is a doom metal / rock band. My tastes have changed significantly because I was just looking for like super hard, fast stuff, and now it's weird in the sense that I've looked for that stuff for so long, and it's just you can only go so far. The scale, like it hits a limit. It hits a limit real hard, real fast. Um, and that is if you're doing a ton of research and a ton of listening into music. And now, mind you, I was in my niche and I was able to listen to the same songs over and over again. And so, like, this came up in my feed on my phone, and I listened to this song like 3 times already. But there's a particular section that I listen to, and I'm not listening for like the heaviness of something anymore. I'm listening for the musicality, the what makes the song, what makes the band sound different than everyone else, what elements you can hear from other influences, modern culture. You can hear like so. Prime example, I can tell a major influence on this band is I can hear the transition of time between the 70s and now because they have a sound that sounds like Sabbath if it transcended through the years and it twisted just a little bit here and there because it's a four-piece band, vocalist, guitar player slash keyboard player, bassist, and drummer. And I don't know whether the keyboardist is the drummer or the bassist or the guitarist, but I know it's one of the two. And I just listened to the band for the first time earlier today, and the thing I'm looking for now is not like who can have the harshest vocals, who can have like the grittiest sounds or whatever. Who can make the song the way it's supposed to be, and it can be like some of the hardest sounding music. You're just like, sounds like I'm punching a brick wall or something like that. And some of the stuff can feel very pulled back, reserved. And this band, I mean, it's a doom metal band, but they're also like their themes it shows right here in this section, and it's just sorrow, doom, damnation. Okay, so not very hopeful, but to hear stuff like that then reminds me of another band called Black Shape. Oh, they're not even on here. Okay, well, Black Shape, if I understand correctly, they are a post-metal band. Progressive elements, math rocky. And so, from what I understand by that, I'm looking for technicality now. I'm looking for things that sets them different from the wall of sound that everyone else produces. And so, when you can combine elements from other genres, when you can do things that I haven't heard before, then you really start creating stuff that's very unique. Why the heck did I do that? And I can't really compare many other bands to Mesa or Mesa, or whatever you say it, in Black Shape. There's not many of them. And so, like, I can pull up YouTube Music right now. My YouTube Music is all over the place. I listen to, like, Greystone's another one of my favorites. But then I listen to, like, Cthulhu Dreamt, which is a weird one. Scapegoat, awesome. As They Lay Dying, awesome. And then I have a whole bunch of worship music. And that's because my taste is all over the place. And then I got Shania Twain in here, too. So, it's even better. So Mesa, if you go to their artist page and you scroll down, and this is on any streaming service that you listen to your music on, you're typically able to go down to the bottom somewhere and find the fans also might also like section. I can tell you, I've never heard of a single. Oh, I've heard of Bell Witch, but that's because I was looking for another band recently, and they were quite odd. They are the most wall of sound band I've ever heard, and it's pretty dark stuff too. But yeah, so I've never heard of any of these bands. But then you look at like Black Shape, and this is the song that I listened to and I learned about them on, and it's that acronym is if this is it, if this is all there is, I hope you live, I hope you live. Which is, it's an interesting acronym, and if you ever get the chance to watch the live music video, I'll scroll over a little bit here. It's just this dude's face right here. There's the four of them playing in a room. But so fans of this band like these bands, okay? I can tell you, like, I've heard of Paris. Let me move me out of the way here, and I'm going to shrink myself a little bit. There we go. So you can see the bands here now, okay? So I've obviously heard of Sleep Token. Sleep Token's huge right now. Spiritbox is the same way. Breakaway is a band that I've known about for a while. I didn't know that they came out with another single, but I thought this was a brilliant track that they came out with. I Will See You When the Night Comes. A little bit of language, just an F-bomb. But I I still thought it was a brilliant song. And then back down here. From there, I only know of Paris, and I know that they are a lighter band, but I don't know what their style is. And then House of Protection, the guitarist for House of Protection was originally in a band called The Chariot, which was a Christian chaos band, I think is what you want to call it, because it was just a literal wall of noise and people could not understand it half the time. Then he left that band, went and joined Fever 333, and eventually the drummer and this guy from Chariot originally left Fever 333 and now are part of House of Protection, which I feel like one of the coolest songs I've ever heard in the last year is probably Pulling Teeth, because it's a callback to some of the music that I did hear on the radio back in the day. And you can hear some of the influences. You can hear the musical tastes of certain things that have occurred over time, and you can hear them push themselves further into the future. And so musically, things don't die, they just evolve. And so one of the big things that was starting to become prevalent in my my younger years was this idea that people would use a kind of like a microphone setup. And this microphone would produce some sort of sound to make a distorted sound that would be kind of like narrowed and conical. And it wouldn't be proper definition of a person's voice. It would be distorted in such a way to where it felt like it was narrow and coming through an announcement speaker. And it's at the very beginning of this song, and so I hear that coming through. And then I hear the other elements coming through from all these different things. So it's just like the guy from Chariot originally was just like super chaotic with his sound. Very hard, very like meticulous, spastic noise. Then it went to Fever 333. And that band, the sound was different. I don't know what the sound was. But then now it has evolved further along into this new entity that calls back to that time period, which is just fairly interesting to me. You don't really pay attention to these things. I got something in my hand. Yeah, there's a cut. I don't know. It's just irritating me. But yes. So, musically, I'm so surprised because... So, for example, one of my favorite bands from back in that time period was System of a Down. I really started listening to them when I was in 8th grade. That was in 2006. I started listening to them then. They are at 31 million subscribers. Okay? Liked music. I'm going to go to my liked music playlists. Okay, these are the most recent songs from the top to the bottom that I've listened to. So the newest song that I've added to my liked song list, okay, is a band called Ire. It's my friend Kashif's band. It's awesome. They have 7 on here. My taste is completely different, and I've had to dive so far down rabbit holes to find them. Now, if we were even to consult Spotify, the numbers would be roughly the same. The number for System of a Down would be super high, and the number for Ire would be significantly lower. It'd be in the 1,000 range. Or like here, I Am Terrified. They have 272. But I want them to release more music because, as you can see with these two images right here, they look like, if you take the triangle and the circle, and the triangle it looks like it does this with the circle, and it creates an image. Because you could just see that it looks like they're supposed to match, but it feels like there's a piece of the puzzle missing still. So I'm just like, we need the other piece. And if you got a chance to, check out the song Bone to Pick. It's a great song. Um, then, then as you could tell, I go all the way to like The Warning, which is a band based out of Mexico. And it's three sisters, and it's just kind of a rocky band. Then you got Stephanie Gretzinger, who is, I think, one of my favorite female, actually one of my female vocalists, but she's also one of my favorite worship artists. Then you have Ginger. This is their new album they came out with, and I love this song. It's my favorite song off this new album. It's fantastic. This is the first song of this band I've ever heard of, Nether Walker, and it's the first song I've ever heard do the particular thing that they were doing, where they would, it's essentially, it sounded like they had the person screaming, and then all of a sudden, their voice, it sounds like it was just chopped. So they would be screaming a note out, and it would just be chopped instead of them releasing the note. It sounds like they had just in the editing process just chopped it, and then left it blank, and then brought it back in, and then chopped it again. And I was just like, that is an interesting thing. Really interesting. And so I'm going to like that one. But then you've got this Russian rendition of a song called, I believe it's Tremble. Yes, it's Tremble. But I like this Russian version, and it's just because I'm starting to work on a process of doing some things with a bunch of Russian people. And then the song underneath of it is like a jazzy influenced song. It's like a worshipy feel one, and I'm just like, just real in the feels of it. Super musical, super tangible, and it's very easy listening. If you got a chance to listen to Trula, listen to Trula. And then I've got Whitechapel on here, which I am really looking forward to their newest album. The last album that they came out with, which was Ken, I listened to it front to back several times, and I think it is a very brilliant story that they've told. It's a very cool concept art style that they've done, and it works in collaboration with The Valley. And you can go and look up the stories based off that. But the newest album they're supposed to be coming out with, which I think it's called Hymns of Dissonance, is supposed to be so dark and so crazy, because I've done my research, and apparently the album is supposed to be about a cult that is trying to increase its numbers and trying to invoke the satanic, I guess. And each of their like tenets is one of the 7 deadly sins. And so it's about pure hedonism and indulgence and selfishness. And so I find that to be interesting. And then you have from there, like after that, you get like one of my favorite Christian bands. And then you get Billy Strings and Zach Brown Band, and then GFM, Poppy, my church's worship music, Knocked Loose. There's Pulling Teeth by them. Then you get Cami Cahoe, which she's just, this is the only song I like by her, but it's like super melancholy. Then this one feels like 2000, like early 2000s skater rock mixed in with skater pop-ish. And then you get one of the dirtiest vocalists I have ever heard in my entire life, Fuma Coffer. And it is it's just nuts. So yeah, I mean, my music is all over the place, and it's so crazy for me to think that back when I was listening to bands like Slipknot, and I was listening to the All Hope Is Gone album, I was listening to System of a Down, I was listening to some Disturbed stuff, I was starting to listen to other bands, and really starting to like dive into stuff that you flip forward 15 years and holy cow, my musical taste is off the charts weird. And I can't really prove it on here. Oh, yeah, I can. I have a K-pop playlist. K-pop. A list of K-pop songs. And I could tell you every song just by listening to like the first 3 seconds. And I pride myself in knowing my music and the fact that I listen to a whole bunch of different things. I like poppy jams here. I've got Bill Murray, I've got Cammy, Lestelle. Lestelle is an amazing band. Get a chance to check them out. Aurora, I only like this one song by her, but it's good. My 2025 releases, I haven't really added a bunch of that. Then I've got a whole country music playlist, which I dig this sucker a lot. And even got my Shania Twain in there. But, like, I feel people need to broaden their horizons now because you need to listen to the music and you need to listen to what they've done and where they've come from. And it's just, I love music. I love music a lot. And getting to hear this stuff it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts to know that I live in a time period where it's possible to listen to so much different music and it be so ready at your fingertips. You don't have to look through your CDs and all this stuff. Like, I remember one of the worst days of my life, I thought, was I had to run to the library from my school, and it was a block and a half away. I had to run because it was raining. And I got to one point, and I remember something like a whole bunch of stuff dropped out of my pockets or whatever. I had big old cargo pockets. And I had to hurry up, pick it up, and keep running. And I lost every single one of my CDs I had in my CD, like, little pouch thing. I lost like 20 CDs. And I was just like, what do I do now? This is bullcrap. I have nothing to listen to now. And so I had to start listening to the radio. Ew. Which I can wholeheartedly tell you, it has been quite a few years since I've listened to the radio. And I can happily tell you it's been a long time since I've listened to the radio because there's so much good music that we now have access to at our fingertips that we should not take for granted what we have access to. So, I just wanted to come on here and chat for, I thought it was going to be short, but this is almost a 25-minute video. So, you all have a wonderful day. Be safe. Do something for someone. Be kind-hearted. Show them a new song. Show them a new song you think they would like to listen to. God bless y'all.